All right, thank you, Connor. As we reach the end of a 30-day deployment of the National Guard in Washington, D.C., rumors abound about another deployment coming soon.
Scripps News Group Stephanie Liebergen reveals what we know about the next steps to crack down on crime in Chicago.
President Donald Trump's federal takeover of Washington, D.C. should be winding down in the next few days, but the increased law enforcement is expected to continue.
President Trump launched his takeover last month, declaring an emergency in the nation's capital, saying homelessness and crime were out of control. But crime was already going down in a notable way in Washington, D.C. But the Home Rule Act puts a 30-day limit on a presidential takeover, and that is due to expire on Wednesday. An extension of the 30 days would require an act of Congress, and there is currently no appetite to do so on Capitol Hill. But D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser is promising to maintain close coordination with federal law enforcement. She has credited the law enforcement surge with dropping crime rates even more. For example, an 87% drop in carjackings. But the mayor has also criticized the law enforcement surge and criticized specifically the presence of masked, unidentifiable federal agents. Over the weekend, thousands of people hit the streets of D.C. for a protest to end the D.C. occupation. It was the largest demonstration against President Trump's federal takeover to date. But with that 30-day limit coming up for the city police takeover, the National Guard is expected to stay out on the streets. There is no governor of Washington, D.C., so the president is the head of the D.C. National Guard, and their orders have been extended to December. But the deployment of the National Guard is facing a lawsuit from the Washington, D.C. Attorney General, and so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in federal courts. But will Chicago be the next city to be taken over? Over the weekend, President Trump repeated his threats to take over the Windy City, posting a meme on Truth Social saying Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War.
Similar to what was already happening in Washington, D.C., violent crime is already going down in Chicago. Illinois' Governor J.B. Pritzker has been very critical of the president's threats to take over Chicago, calling President Trump a wannabe dictator and saying that this is not normal. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group, Washington.